everyone. Are you prepared to welcome the strategies of top HR voices nationwide? Welcome back to We Talk Talent Season 5, your go to source for unraveling the future of the workforce. Today, I'm super thrilled to welcome Asma Sait, Global Talent Acquisition Leader, AP Moller Maersk. Asma is a seasoned talent acquisition leader with over 15 plus years of experience across industries. She specializes in developing strategic frameworks that address both immediate and long term hiring needs. Asma has played a pivotal role in establishing technology hubs in India for top global firms such as Lowe's, Amadeus, and Maersk. Currently, she leads the global technology recruitment for Maersk. Known for mentoring and empowering teams, Asma promotes a culture of innovation and continuous improvement. She is also recognized as a top 100 HR leader under 40 category. Hi, Asma. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Soumya, for the warm welcome.
You. So I'm going to get started right in. It's such a wonderful opportunity to be in conversation with you. And for my viewers, we always start with a brief overview, Asma. So my first question for you is going to be, according to you and your industry demands, what type of skill shortages do you think is causing the much talked about talent war?
So, Soumya, I would like to relate this to the law of supply and demand that all of us would have learned in our school days, right? Often we've seen where the demands are high and supply is lower. That's when, a terminology called talent war comes into the picture now. In industries like information technology, healthcare, supply chain and logistics, these are the industries where I'm seeing the skills shortages. Now, if I talk specific about information technologies, with the upcoming technologies like artificial intelligence, data analytics, cloud computing, cybersecurity, right? These are the places where, currently there is a very, very shortage of resources available. Now, as digital transformation accelerates, right, across sector, there is a high demand for these professionals. So what I'm trying to say is talent war is nothing new. This concept has existed in the past and it will be prevalent in the future. While technologies are constantly changing, our candidates have to keep evolving. They have to upskill themselves, reskill themselves to be competitive in this market. Now, some skills which were premium in the past no longer exist, currently. A simple example is that, there was a time when people were looking for typewriting skills because typewriter existed. And then when we moved from typewriter to computers, nobody's asking for that skill, right? Same goes for, I remember during my initial days, we were hiring for backend developers. And right now, nobody's asking for a backend developer. Every company needs a full stack developer, right? Who needs both. So that's how our markets are constantly evolving now. Also I think this skill shortage can be only solved if our candidates are able to reinvent themselves, right? And recently I remember talking to a candidate, a Java developer, where I spoke to them saying that, hey, I have an opportunity for you for a .NET programming language. And they said, no, I'm sorry, but I'm not a .NET developer, so I would rather not take up that opportunity. And I was like, we as an organization are willing to give you a chance, an opportunity, but you do not want to, pick, and because that's the comfort zone the candidate was in. And that is why the skills shortage will continue. And another fresh lens to look at is hiring the fresh graduates. I think a lot of companies have opened up that stream, while right now I would not say they are industry ready because their course curriculums are not very updated. They still have courses, which are not updated. So, when that change happens, right? When the course curriculum gets updated to the latest technology, that is when I feel, the the skill gap can be closed, and we'll have more relevant workforce coming into the market. I also know of a lot of companies. What they do is they hire fresh graduates because they know you can't put fresh graduates directly into a job, so they run a 6 months program, right? They hire and train them, and then they deploy them into a project. So that's a very good way to look at managing your skill shortage, and then you will not get into a talent war kind of a situation.
I really like, Asma, how you've addressed this question. And you've given out some really like the charters to the viewers, if I could say the least. It's all about evolving. It's all about upskilling, reskilling. And my favorite is your reinventing. So if you are kind of abiding by these rules, I think there's always a positive side that we're going to look together, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Asma, that brings me to the next question. And this again is very, very important for the brands today. So if you could shed some light on your employer branding strategy and also taking cognizance of how it has evolved over the past few years. I mean, you've already talked about that how digital is doing the disruption. That is one thing that we are aware. But we would love to know that how this employer journey, has moved from years. So if you could share something around that.
So employer branding is fairly new, right? And is still finding its early steps. Now, for us, our employee is the center of everything we do, right? And we make our employees the hero of our story. We give equal weightage to their personal story as well as their professional. Now, by that, what am I trying to say here, right? We promote bringing your whole self to work. For example, you can be a finance expert and at the same time a mom, right? You don't have to choose one over the other. We're being more inclusive in that way, and that's how we're taking our employer branding. Now, traditionally, to your question, traditionally talent attraction was more of recruitment, marketing, focusing on how to attract the talent, and that was through your job ads, making it being more inclusive. But for us, employer branding is more about highlighting what are our key strengths. And if you ask me, on top of my mind is work-life balance, and and what does it mean to be an industry leader and innovators of our sector. And then talk about these benefits and build stories around it, right? So our content revolves around people, and that's how we take our employer branding.
That's a very fresh spin on this question, if I could say that. I really, really like this and highlighting the key strengths. I think that's very fantastic. And you've made your journey from those traditional definition to a very modern action plan. So that's just phenomenal. Thank you for putting that out. I know we started with the importance of soft skills, Asma, and this is actually one of the burning topics around it. So, in your viewpoint, how do you see the importance of soft skills evolving in the future? I'm sure the viewers are going to benefit out of this one.
So in the future, soft skills are the only ones that would matter, is what I'm going to, that's a statement that I'm going to make. It's because AI is picking up on all the technical sides, right? But they're sure they cannot have soft skills like how humans have. And working in any industry often involves solving complex problems, which means that without the benefits of collaboration, you cannot survive. And top skills that I feel every candidate must have is adaptability, leadership, communication, and problem solving. Now, these skills will help you to enhance productivity and foster positive work environment, right? And this will also help us to innovate. This will create or facilitate innovation. Now, if you ask me, somebody with a good communication, leadership, and technical know-how is a leader in the making. And that's how soft skills are very important. That's why it is very important. And just a recommendation in case if people want to work on their soft skills, right? I personally would recommend a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale. That's a book that I have read through. It's really helped me to improve on certain aspects. And there's also a book called Leaders Eat Last, if I remember correctly, by Simon Sinek. right? These are the two books that I really recommend. And apart from reading books, you could also listen to your TEDx talks. I'll also take this opportunity to narrate a personal example of how I was able to evolve my soft skills, right? So when I started my journey, uh, you know, I was an introvert, right? By introvert, I would always want to just come to office, work and then leave. But later I realized if I don't collaborate with my team members, right, the result that I'm able to produce is so smaller compared to the larger impact that I could make at work. And that's how I pushed myself to have like I would be so scared to even talk in front of people, right? I would not want to network, but I gradually worked on those skills, and that's how I evolved my soft skills. So, I'm hoping by this, I'm able to inspire others who are looking to improve their soft skills. This is my recommendation.
Absolutely. That's very brave of you for putting out your personal story. And it just sounds very, very conducive. So your passion to turn it around actually comes from this. I can definitely sense that, Asma. Thank you. Thank you. And for my viewers, I think adaptability, leadership, communication, and problem solving, as Asma says, it's the leader in the making. So you already have your checklist ready from this one. Thank you. Thank you for that. Asma, I'm also going to come about and talk for the DEI part. I think a lot of leaders, a lot of employees are trying to talk about it, trying to understand the nuances of this, if I could say. And I'm very happy to share with my viewers that it is widely recognized that some leading companies are championing the advancement of women in breaking the maritime industry's glass ceiling. So this is very specific where I'm coming from. And your brand in particular is at the forefront of this movement. So I'm sure that's a great feeling of pride. So kudos to you and the team back at home. But if you could just take us through your DEI agenda, that'll be very helpful.
Sure. So for us, DEI is beyond gender, and that reflects, in what we do. Now, we all know diversity of thought leads to better solving problems. Therefore, we need to bring together people who experience the world differently. For example, we need to bring together people with neurodivergent people of different cultural orientation, sexual orientation, and just bringing them together is not enough, right? Providing them with a safe space for them to, feel that it is safe for them to come out, talk about what they feel, how they feel, right? So as an employer, it is our job to create a psychologically safe environment, and that is the culture that we're building within Maersk. And if you, also what I can talk about is, we are building DEI as a culture within the organization, culture of care, culture of trust and flexibility. Now you must be thinking, what am I talking about? I'm just using some jargons, right? Like care, trust, flexibility. So I can actually give you an example of how one of our leaders intentionally makes a statement during a team meeting that at 3 o'clock she needs to go to pick her kid from the school, right? And we as a team, we respect it and are okay with it. That's how inclusive we as an organization are, right? There's no shame in saying that you have to take care of your kids during work hours. Like, I have a daughter who is 4 years and who would love to come on video. Whenever I'm on a video call for team meeting, she wants to pop up and say hi to everyone, right? So, and that's okay, right? I do not feel uncomfortable in that, and that's the nature, that's the inclusivity we have at Maersk, which means we want the employee to bring their whole self to work.
Yeah.
That's what we believe in.
That was exactly the thought that was echoing in my head while I'm hearing these stories, and these are very inspirational stories, Asma. So thank you.
Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes about the brand's vision and mission, and I think you guys are doing absolutely well on that. So yeah, thank you for that. Asma, I'm going to bring you on one of those questions. I'm sure that will echo very well with you because this talks about the talent acquisition part, and who better than you to answer this? So, if
Yes.
you could just share some of the most prominent challenges that you have faced in the TA space and a couple of strategies that you use to overcome them.
Sure. So I can talk about plenty, but I'm going to restrict myself to the top two. The number one being the TA adoption of AI in technology is very slow. Now, that can be due to many reasons, right? A few that I can think of can be the data privacy, algorithm biases, or incompatible systems. While these challenges exist, I also know there are a lot of positives if you adopt AI, into the TA process, which is it improves your efficiency, accuracy, and inclusivity, right? So these are the things that you can look at. It also helps to automate a lot of routine tasks, which will help your teams to strategically spend their time on strategic activities, right? And the AI can take care of your admin task. Now, AI, I don't have to really talk about it, but I know, let me just give you a little brief about how AI can help TA processes. It can help, matching the candidate skills with the job requirement, even, scheduling interviews, conduct interviews. Also, the chatbots we've seen recently that it helps in enhancing candidate experience because the response that you get from chatbots are so quicker than if you have somebody in the back end, answering the queries of these, candidates. So I really feel that we have to move towards adopting AI, right? While there may be fears of AI replacing jobs, and that's what we've heard a lot, right? I've heard a lot of debates where people say, "Oh, in the future, you no longer will have work to do because AI is going to replace." But imagine a situation where AI is replacing all the admin tasks and you get to do a lot of strategic things, right? Strategic thinking, implement those. And that is why I think that's one of the main challenges. The minute we start implementing AI in technology, I think we're taking the game to the next level. And so I think I've spoken enough about AI. Moving on to the second most challenging part in TA is finding the right talent, right? Now, what do you mean by right talent? There's nothing called right talent, but finding that person, and what most of the organizations, I will also not talk about just Maersk, but most of the organizations, when you have a position opening up, right, the recruiters are so keen, the hiring managers are so keen to look at the external market for the external talent. But instead, I would suggest that, start looking at your internal employees and see if there are any employees whose skill matches at least 60 to 70% of what you're looking at, right? If there is, then you just have to invest in that 30%. What in turn that will help you is, one is the candidate comes already with the company knowledge. Second is, the employee feels comfortable that the organization is invested in this person's growth and helps in retaining. And for example, if you have accounting role coming up and you have somebody in the finance who's interested to apply for that role, then it is all about just upskilling that person, and that person will be able to better deliver results compared to your external resource, because that resource will take some time to learn the company. That breathing time is there for that person. But while you hire somebody internally, while you identify somebody internally, it's so easy to just get things going. And coming back to what we do at Maersk is, we have something called, last year we launched something called Impact, which is your performance conversation. And this is a continuous conversation that a manager has with their employees. And the conversation is recorded on the system so that we have, we have the data already ready to see if a person is, for example, ready for the next role, and things like that. So the minute we have a position, it's always better to go back and see, how many employees are available within the organization, and then see if we can internally move. I think every TA should look at internally moving the employee, and then if the skill is not there, if what you're looking is completely new, then go to the external market. It makes sense to hire people with fresh perspective and skills, and get them into the company. So those are the two main challenges, Soumya, I wanted to talk about.
Absolutely, and very much on point. And you did touch upon a very sensitive thing that we've been discussing for years, which is the build versus buy paradox. And how beautifully you've given us that instruction that even if there's a 60% match, I think we should proceed with it. because of course the stability and the employee experience gets, I think it proliferates multi-level, right, Asma? So that's very, very good to know. Thank you for putting that out. And that brings me to the end of this conversation. This has been such a fun ride. Learning from you and your insights on the We Talk series, I would say, have been incredibly valuable. So thank you so much for being so honest and sharing all of this with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Soumya, for inviting.
And with this, for my viewers, another stimulating session on the We Talk Talent comes to a close. We hope, and I truly, truly know that the wonderful viewers, you found today's discussion with Asma as enriching as we did. The ever-evolving landscape of talent management definitely keeps us on our toes. So be sure to join us for the next episode as we explore the fresh perspectives on cultivating and nurturing the workforce of tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and continue excelling in your talent endeavors. Thank you so much.